right, let's get into the show. This is Girlfriends Happens here, Mondays and Friday. Today, we're talking about something really important. I'm happy that we're talking about this because people say we barely talk about it. I mean, we hear incidences and issues on social media. People talk about it, there's a rave about it, and then before you know, everywhere is just silent and quiet. So we have some people from USAID Center, the care center, to talk to us today about gender-based violence. And of course, we have in the studio Grace Chisom, also EBELE Chuks Onyekwere in the studio. Good to have you ladies here on a Monday like this. Welcome to Girlfriends.
Thank you. It's nice being here.
Aha. Good
Thank you. It's nice to be here today.
Aha. She's very audible. I love it. Okay, so on Girlfriends today, we're talking about gender-based violence. Like I said, they are from USAID Care Center. So, I mean, when you talk about a care center, you know that, of course, they attend to or cater to people's needs, especially when it comes to the said area, which is gender-based violence. So let me start with you, Grace Chisom. You are a gender-based violence clinical psychologist. That is a huge area that you cover. So talk to us, why is this very important to USAID?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
So we are here today to talk about gender-based violence because we've realized that over time, most persons, just like you had mentioned, people go through domestic violence, go through other forms of abuse, and people talk about it on a hush-hush. Most persons don't come out to talk about it. So we're here to let people understand what it is and then let people know that they can actually reach out and get help.
Right, that's a good one. But from a clinical point of view, do you deal with this based off of, proof that you have on the victim, and then you can, press and take, charge the person in court? Is that where you come from? Is that where the field that you cover?
Okay, so from the clinical point of view, usually what we do is we counsel, right?
Okay.
We do counseling, and then we get to refer them to sexual assault referral centers where they get the help that they need.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, so we have such centers here in Abuja. Okay. Interesting thing. Now let me move to you, EBELE Chuks Onyekwere, Deputy Chief of the party. We're talking about USAID Care Center here. You're the Deputy Chief. So let's talk about the Care Center now. What you guys do and what you're about. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for having us in the show today.
You're welcome.
So the USAID Care Center is run or is being operated by UCS Global Resources. So UCS Global Resources is a subcontractor to FHI 360 for implementing EPIC Activity 3 project, which is funded by USAID. So what the care center does is to support activities in linking clients to access HIV prevention services, PrEP, if you have heard of PrEP.
Okay.
There's also PEP for people who have been exposed and will be needing the services. And in addition, we do gender-based violence services, whereby we provide counseling. We call it providing first-line support to survivors of gender-based violence. So we have 80 case officers who have been trained by USAID to provide such services to survivors of gender-based violence. So in addition, we have also a GPV clinical psychologist, which is Chisom, that is here, who also provide additional support services to these clients by counseling and referring. So we refer clients either to access clinical services in the health centers or non-clinical services, whereby you're saying reporting to the police, legal services, empowerment, safe houses or shelter. These are some of the things that is being done in the care center. So the care center operates a virtual service, I must mention.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we operate a virtual service whereby people can call in to access these services. And we operate 24 hours with a toll-free line. So I might mention the...
Oh, you can.
Okay.
Go on.
So our toll-free line is 0800 95 95 950.
Say that again. As one would worry as well, you have one toll-free line. Usually it's going to be like a lock or traffic situation. That's just the number you have, because oftentimes when you talk about toll-free, we've had other agencies and ministries and parastatals come through, and they talk about having just one line, and it's like people tell you, oh, before I get through. Don't you think, when you have like 2, 3, 1 getting through is a problem? So with this line, do you think that that is solely enough for, this kind of emergency situation?
Yes, just like I'd mentioned, that the care service is the virtual service which is provided by this telephone number. So I must mention that we use a software. It's not just a telephone line that people dial.
Got you.
Yes, so we use a software. So the software is able, we have 80 case officers, though they work on shifts. So we have like between 20 to 30 per shift. So your call can be routed to any of the case officers in any of the languages. We use IVR, interactive voice record. So it can be routed to any of the languages, whether English or Igbo or Hausa or Pidgin.
I get it.
So in as much as busy that the line might be, for your calls will be taken with our case officers.
Great. Now let's move to you, Chisom. When you talk about gender-based violence, we're not referring to just women alone, are we?
No, we're not.
So based on statistics now, I wanted to ask you from the point of view of someone who's a clinical psychologist, do we have a decline or an increase with gender-based violence in Nigeria?
Actually, we have an increase. Before now, people don't call in or people don't even talk about it. But because of some incidences that have been happening recently, most persons are coming out to talk about it. And funny enough, most men are also coming out to talk about it. So it's not just
women alone.
Yeah, women alone.
Yeah.
You hear some guys calling to say, I am going through this.
Wow.
So it's not just specific to women.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Interesting thing, because I mean, oftentimes when you talk about gender-based violence, people just say, oh, it's women that, deal with this, and oh, it's all of that. But then these statistics, is it still a ratio of more on the women's side who are speaking up, or more on the men's side, or men are just coming out? Do we have stats?
Okay, so it's still 1 out of every 4 females. Yeah, 1 out of every 4. Is going through, has gone through, or will go through
gender-based violence.
Yes, gender-based violence.
Okay, so let me understand the process. When one calls, but let me go to you now, EBELE, Chuks, Onyekwere. When one calls in, what is the process that's involved? If I call, toll-free numbers such as the one you just dropped in, what's the process? Do I, because some people tell you they want to stay anonymous, or they don't want to reveal who they are because of who they're married to. What's the process in reporting such a case?
Okay, so I need to mention that the care center services are confidential. So whatever thing you say to us in the care center is confidential. So this goes to say, when we do, we'll also do demand curation activities through our social media handles. And some calls and SMS. So when clients call in, what we do first is to determine what is the client's location. So if we find the client's location, we determine what does the client want.
Okay.
So like Chisom had mentioned, also we have clinical and non-clinical services. So we have people that have had like physical abuse, sexual abuse. We refer them to treatment centers or sexual assault referral centers across the nation. So so we have sexual assault referral centers across the nation, across states in Nigeria. So they are being referred to such places to once at a time, because it's client-centric. I also want our listeners to know that it is confidential. Whatever thing you say to the care center is treated in utmost confidentiality, and no one is getting who are the coordinating bodies of gender-based violence activities in Nigeria. So everything you say is confidential, and services are provided to the client.
So services provided, do they have to pay for it? Because that's another angle to it. Once they call and this conversation is confidential, you now refer them to those centers you talked about. Do they have to pay if someone is going through that? Yeah, that's the question I have.
Okay, so in as much as we refer them to centers, they do not really need to pay for the services. So you don't pay for counseling services.
Oh, really?
For someone who goes to, say, someone who was, let's say, raped, for instance, and then you have to send the person to a sexual assault referral center.
Yeah.
The person goes there. The person has to do certain screenings to be sure that, to screen for STIs, to get medications for HIV, to prevent HIV, and then other form of screenings. Now, these services are free.
Wow.
If they are sent to USAID supported centers.
Okay.
They are free.
If they are sent to USAID supported centers, do we have that here in Abuja?
Okay, so presently, the project for USAID covers 17 states.
Okay.
But the sexual assault referral centers can be found even the states that the USAID is not supporting. So the sexual assault centers can also be found in that state. But just like she has mentioned, the USAID is supporting for HIV programming 17 states in Nigeria for this particular project, the EPIC Activity 3.
Okay.
So, yes.
Oh, I get it now. But the sexual assault center here in the FCT, do we have that?
Yes, we have some here in the FCT.
Okay. All right, guys. Remember, you can join the conversation, whatever question you have for the guests in house. We have Grace Chisom, who is gender-based violence clinical psychologist, also EBELE Chuks Onyekwere, deputy chief of the party from USAID Care Center in the studio. We're talking about gender-based violence, the services they offer. They have a toll-free number, even virtual as well, for those who could call in. From what they've said, it's quite confidential, whatever you discuss with them, and the referrals are made from there to places where you can go to. Join the conversation by calling 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. Those are the numbers to call to ask your questions or be a part of the conversation. As today being Monday, we're talking about gender-based violence point of view from USAID Care Center today on Girlfriend. So send a text or WhatsApp message, like I said, to 090-9705-4450. Got a message here from socials going over to Facebook. Remember, you can go to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to drop us a message as well. Ozo Francis Namani. Ozo Francis here says, watching live from Amagunze in Enugu State. Good afternoon from here. Good afternoon to you. Good to have you, Ozo, joining live on the program. So we're talking about gender-based violence, and obviously guys are also, beginning to come out, to step out, like the ladies have said. Any question from a man's perspective or from the lady's perspective, make sure to call us up, ask your questions as the conversation continues. Do not move a muscle. In the meantime, Maroon 5 and Cardi B, girls.
Your station for today's R&B and old school.
Non-stop hits.
Eagles 102.3.
Abuja.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Radio is an experience. Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja.
Your number one radio experience you can count on. Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
Don't even know what the day is. Some weekend.
Eagles 102.3.
Giving the gift of hit music.
Yeah! Let's go! Hey, this is Justin Bieber and Mariah Carey.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Girl, get it! You get me going.
All day.
All day. All day.
On Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
We all need that friend who is our unpaid therapist that we yearn to talk to every day. Look no further.
Call me up, talk to me about your day. I'm right here and I am listening to you.
We are going to celebrate our new baby girl. My day was not that very okay because of...
Join Kemi Michael on A Cobble for Your Thoughts every weekday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Hanging out with friends is such a hobby, but
chilling with your girlfriends? Such a boaster. We talk about love, family, relationship, the shady, hilarious, fun, juicy, messy gossip in town. And the gentlemen aren't off the table. Girlfriends with Oli J, Mondays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Exclusive to Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
Playing the best music from yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is
102.3. Eagles 102.3.
This doesn't make any sense.
Tune in to Hall of Fame, where we strut the red carpets of the silver screen.
Learning of an infinite multiverse includes learning of infinite danger.
I am Sub-Zero. I like this one.
I know what this place is.
It's all about movies and what to watch out for every Thursday at 4 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
Get over here!
Well, everyone focuses on staying socially distant, washing your hands, and staying safe.
Social distancing. A reminder
that the hits are there to socially dance to.
Staying safe, washing our hands,
and keeping you company
one song at a time.
The hits are on
102.3 Eagles FM.
Sweet. The one and only Kemi Michael and I, Tutu Itodo, will be taking you home on the sunny side of things. The Sunny Side Show, weekdays 2 to 6 p.m. Make sure to join in. You'll be glad you did.
I can tell he's been lying and pretending that he's faithful and he loves you.
Hanging out with friends is such a hobby, but chilling with your girlfriends? Such a boaster. We talk about love, family, relationship, the shady, hilarious, fun, juicy, messy gossip in town. And the gentlemen aren't off the table. Girlfriends with Oli J, Mondays and Fridays at 1 p.m. Exclusive to Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja.
And of course, the conversation continues here with Grace Chisom and EBELE Chooks. We're talking gender-based violence. Today's Girlfriends are sponsored by USAID Care Center. And of course, we've talked a lot about, some services besides the GBV that's offered by, services offered by USAID Center. Can you quickly mention again to you, EBELE, other services rendered by USAID?
Okay, so presently, like I said, USAID is supporting HIV activities in 17 states in Nigeria.
Okay.
So this includes HIV testing services and is a free testing services. There's also provision of PrEP. PrEP is pre-exposure prophylaxis that someone can take to prevent HIV. So USAID provides that also.
Yeah.
Then there's also PEP, post-exposure for those who has been exposed and will be needing the services. And there's also ART, antiretroviral therapy for people who are already infected with HIV. There's also a free treatment in the USAID supported facilities that clients can also enroll for. It's a free treatment. And when you are doing when you're on ART treatment, there's also this possibility, we'll call it index client testing, ICT, whereby you are encouraged to bring in your sexual partners, your social partners, or your biological children to access these HIV testing services also. Peradventure anyone gets positive, the person can be enrolled into care and treatment also. So in the care center that provides virtual services. So we provide counseling and information for all these services.
Virtual meaning the person doesn't necessarily have to come down.
Exactly. The person does not need to see us, and we don't see the person. So this anonymity of the virtual service makes it easy and possible for clients to call in from different places, and they are also free to talk to us on the services they will need or require. So we provide counseling and then refer clients to linkage to care and treatments.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay, so but when it comes to going for the testing, they would have to go to the center because it can't be done virtually, can it?
Exactly. That's why we do referral. The referral is that we now send someone, send the client somewhere where the person can receive the free services also.
Okay. Now going to you, Grace Chisom, I hear there are different forms of or types of gender-based violence. Can you enlighten us on that?
Okay, so we have the physical abuse or physical violence. We have the emotional abuse or emotional violence. We have the economic, and then we have the sexual. Now, for physical is what most persons know. Someone hits you, someone pushes you, all that inflicts physical harm.
Pain,
Then the emotional. Most times, persons don't even know they go through emotional violence, right? So someone is someone not abused in the word of insulting, but there is this abuse that
manipulative.
Someone tries to intimidate you. Someone either isolates you. Someone makes you feel like you're excluded from whatever it is that is going on in an environment. That's an emotional violence. But most persons don't even know they are going through it. Then we also have the economic. The economic violence, one will say, say for instance you're asking a girl child not to go to school, or you're telling a girl to this job, you can't do this job, you can't do this thing, you can't do that, just because you want to put that person in more like a box. Then we have the sexual violence, which I think almost everybody knows about that. The rape. And sexual violence has gone way past rape. We have even forced marriage. We have someone is either being extorted through sex. Like you want to get a job and your employer is saying, oh, you have to sleep with me for you to get this job. And then we even have marital or spousal rape.
That is where I was coming to, because I know that's quite dicey. If you say sexual assaults in marriage, I don't know that, because this is where the lawyers, and I'm sure you work with lawyers? You guys have had to at some point, because they tell you, you're married to someone, you're legally married. How then do you say this is an assault because that person's body becomes yours and all of that? How do you deal with such a scenario and say, oh, you were raped when it's your husband or your wife?
We've had incidences of people calling to say, oh, my husband did rape me. And then we'll look at the rape from the point of, say, if maybe he comes in drunk, and then he comes in drunk and then he wants to probably have intercourse with you, and then you say no, and then he goes ahead and forces himself on you. The man will say, oh, after I'm married to you, so you belong to me. But it's for the fact at that point she said no. No means no.
Wow. Even in marriage? Are you serious? Because I mean, we've had that conversation, on a chat like this before now, and it's like we also had a lawyer, and it's like it's a quite dicey one in court, because it's like you're married to the person and all, but do you have winning cases in such scenario? Do you have a situation where, okay, so at the end of the day, the person was actually charged in court for actually raping their husband or their wife?
Okay, so I may not have any. I don't have any concrete evidence, but I know that persons who we refer to SAC centers, they usually come back to say, "Oh, I was going forward. Either I want to continue with this marriage, or we are, we're going our separate ways."
Okay, all right, guys. You can call 090-7353-0044 to ask your questions. This is a care center in-house, by the way. USAID in-house talking to us about gender-based violence. Let us know what your take is on it. From the services, they say the render, the toll-free number, the virtual services, the referral centers. Ensure that you ask your questions, and of course, they're here to answer them. 090-8766-8888 or 090-7353-0044. Today on Girlfriends, like I said, sponsored by USAID Center. Now, let's move over to you. I know that you also have, you are talking off air about, sexual assault and all of that. Now, I will throw the same question to you as well. I know that you said some people talk about, winning cases, or some people get happy at the end of the day once their referral centers help with the services that they do render. What's your take on the whole, assault thing and gender-based violence? Besides you being the deputy chief of the party, what other areas do you contribute to this?
Okay, so when it comes to gender-based violence, we in the care center have received lots of training to be able to provide these services. Like I mentioned, one of the training for the survivor of GBV is called providing first-line support for GBV survivors.
Okay.
So we have received such trainings that will help us in order to be able to provide counseling services in an unbiased way, in a non-judgmental way, in a way that's you don't look at your culture, your tradition, your religion. You provide a service that is client-centric, without bias. So all these trainings form part of what we do in the care center, apart from me, with other people also in the care center. So we are able to provide these services and in turn provide also training and mentoring to our case officers who take the calls on the phone while discharging their duties.
Okay, I've got a question here from Francis. Says, Olija, good afternoon. Listening to you on Girlfriends today, and say me hi to the guest in house. I want to ask the question that they talked about. If this service is truly free for Nigerians, how come Nigerians are not in the know and not aware with regards calling virtually to get advice free of charge? Can they broaden on that? They will go to that shortly. Sorry, you got told you can call us back. The numbers again to call us 090-7353-0044. That is the number to call to ask, the guest in house your questions. You can also call 090-8766-8888. Let me go to you, Deputy Chief of the party now, EBELE. So someone says, expatiate. Are you saying these services have been out there free, all of that, and Nigerians are not aware of it? Where have you guys been more of? So can you expatiate on that?
Okay, so I want to mention that the services are there, they are free, and we do get calls from clients who actually require the services. Like I also say, we have social media handle, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, so we have the EC3 support, then the EC3 support for our social media handle. So people can also follow us in our social media handles to get more information and more education on what the care center actually does. So people do call us in on a regular basis, on a daily basis, because like I said, it's a 24-hour service and it's toll-free. And
toll-free.
Yes, and we can provide services in the languages I've mentioned, like they can call us in as people are utilizing the opportunity to call in and access services that are free.
Okay, a message here just said, can we have the number again? Can you reel out the toll-free number again so that someone can have a grasp? This particular number is not just for gender-based violence, is it? It's
no.
So generally.
So people can call in to ask for HIV testing services. For if you want to get on medication, you just tested positive, or you need an information on HIV, or you have someone who is living with HIV.
Sorry, is it just limited to those who, the HIV, or there are other ailments that people can get tested for?
Okay, so for this one, like I had mentioned, this particular care center is providing services around HIV and gender-based violence.
So I get it now.
So the person is requesting we call in the number again, right? So 0800 95 95 950.
Okay, take it again.
0800 95 95 950.
There you go. So it's a toll-free in case you're going through it and you want someone to talk about, to talk to. You can call, though. You want to clarify on some things. They're here to answer your questions. We have USAID Care Center live in the studio on Girlfriends this afternoon. Call 090-8766-8888 to ask your questions, or 090-7353-0044, and sure to join the conversation and ask whatever question you have today on the show. Remember, you can go to socials as well. Eagles FM Abuja as one word. Let's talk to you here. We got a call. Hello, good afternoon.
My name is Samson.
Hi, Samson. Where are you calling from, Samson?
Calling from.
All right, talk to us. What's your question for the guests?
The question like this: someone like me, I'm a married man. It's like every day when a woman is complaining of tired, then that the man wants to have sex with his wife, complaining of tired, or she's not. Now I feel like I'm overfeeding her. Then I went and slept with her, which is without, she's not she's not agreeing the way I did it. Can we call that one violence? Gender violence.
Okay.
And secondly, if this gender violence, what makes it like that? Because the Bible makes it clearly to us that a man and a woman, they married, they become one, not two again.
Right.
And they say the body of a man does not belong to him, neither the body of a woman belongs to her. But the body of a man belongs to his wife, and also the body of wife belongs to his woman.
Okay. Samson, I see a question you asked about, the issue where there's a way whatever happens with your spouse happened. If she didn't like it, is that would you call that gender-based violence? And also, if you're going to charge someone to court and they're married, their body belongs to all of that. So let's have them react to it. Thank you so much, Samson, for calling. Really appreciate you. Let me go to you now. Your reaction to the question.
Okay, so if I get him correctly, he's asking if a woman is tired and then the man wants to.
Yes. Yeah, and she says no, like you said earlier.
She says no, and then you go ahead and would you call that gender-based violence? Now, the thing is, we said, in gender-based violence, in the family, especially when it is. Now, you're saying
so how do you then succeed in those kind of scenarios?
Now, the incidences or the cases we get.
Yeah.
You can actually outrightly say yes, this is a pure gender based. This is yes. You can actually say this is pure. Now, sometime last week we got someone who had called in to say, this did happen, and it has to do with sexual. I'm actually not divulging. So it has to do with sexual assault. So you could actually tell that yes, this is a sexual. But with cases where I'm tired, I don't want to do this, and then you go ahead and you say because she's married, my wife and I'm married, so your body is my body and all that. Well, depending on where the woman is seeing it from, the angle where the woman sees it from, the woman may just feel.
So once it's not, it becomes an issue. EBELE, you want to say something?
Yeah. I wanted to say that in the care center, because I want to allay Samson's fears, that in the care center we are not promoting that people report, we are not saying that marriages will be dissolved or something.
No.
Because now that he's afraid that my wife doesn't want to do and I have to do it in a way that she does not like. Well, like I said, some things can also be solved through counseling. That is why it's also good for the survivor.
So you don't just offer this, it's also counseling.
Exactly. So that the survivor or the person who feels that I have not been treated well can also speak up. That's what we are looking at, so that counseling can also be provided. So that's what we are looking at. So Samson, I'm not just targeting it to you, Samson, but I'm also thinking that other people might have that fears for people who are married, that forceful marriage, forceful sex in a marriage is a no.
It's not like
that
giving
you can
a
also
voice.
exactly. So we can also talk about it.
Yeah.
And someone who has been abused or the abuser can also call us and get information and get counseling and get education and get exposed. So that most times you notice people do things out of negligence or ignorance. They don't know. So what we also provide in the care center, apart from referral that people can get services, we provide counseling. We give information. We give education so that people are aware of whatever thing.
This is not like, okay, your wife or husband is reporting you. It's like, I need a voice. If you can save the marriage out of my husband or spouse's ignorance, then why not go for the counseling? All right, the conversation continues. Keep it here. If you've got a question, 090-7353-0044 is the number to call. 090-8766-8888. We have girlfriend sponsored today. USAID Care. Love. Learn.
This is Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. The greatest hits of all time. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
It's full of many things. So many things I did see. Now it make me sing.
They all are champions.
I am Aquaman.
But there are legends among champions.
I'll be back.
Wednesday at 1 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
This is gonna be fun.
Power Hour. You win or you lose.
Who wants to be king?
A stitch in time saves 9. Scratch that. How about saving the 9 for a stitch in time after all? Runway, corporate space, couture, hair, makeup, and definitely do's and don'ts. If it's fashion, we're talking about it. Trendy Stitches every Wednesday, 11 a.m. with Olije on 102.3 Extra. Trendy Stitches. Make your everyday a runway.
It's Tongue Twister Friday.
What's going on, y'all?
Repeat a phrase 5 times real fast without mispronouncing any word.
Fantabulous.
She sells seashells by the seashore. I
used to wash my Irish fish wash.
You were like my Irish fish wash. How fast do we have this?
Goggles, gobbled, gobbling, goblins.
You don't know why it's going on.
Give it a try on the Friday Traffic Rush at 5 p.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM.
Are you listening?
Hi there. My name is Olije. You are listening to Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Do connect with us on all our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram at Eagles FM Abuja. Or you can also send us a WhatsApp message to 090-9705-4450.
Maybe not.
Eagles 102.3 FM. Your radio experience you can count on. Keep listening.
Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja.
Hey, this is Justin Bieber.
This is Gwen Stefani. Hi, this is Madonna. What's up, you guys? It's Nicki Minaj.
Is it too late now to say sorry?
Baby, don't lie. I don't wanna cry no longer.
Eagles 102.3.
The vibe is about to be
Monday edition, we're talking about gender-based violence. USAID Care Center in house. We've got Grace Chisom from the center. She is a clinical psychologist. Also EBELE Chuks Onyekure, deputy chief of the party. Sounds areas with regards humane services, so it's not necessarily political. Now let's talk about rape cases. So it seems though that once you're someone comes with that particular issue with the rape, is like, oh, you have to get police reports, you have to do this, do that, court proceedings in this part of the world. So not just this part of the world, seems like. And some feel, you know what, when I, even though you refer people like you do, it's like, so you have to get this police report, you have to be sure that the victim takes a test immediately. What if they didn't take a test immediately? How are you going to justify that this is rape? All of those dicey things. How do you deal with it, in this care center? Yeah.
Okay. For rape cases, usually we say when an individual, goes through or suffers any sexual violence, 72 hours is what if you're going to get any evidence, 72 hours. If you're going to get treated, so for STI, for pre-exposure prophylaxis, 72 hours. So if an individual calls in within that time to say this is what has happened, and she's referred or he is referred to a SAC center. Now, from that point, they it's a hospital. You know, most of the SACs have clinics attached to them, so you definitely get all the screenings you need at hand. Then they have legal services also added. They could also go as far as helping the person go through all the other aspect nitty-gritties of
So it's not like the centers you're talking about. They are quite fast in their services and operations.
So it's just like if you walk into a hospital and they do everything you need in that hospital. So you get all the services you want from that hospital. But if you're to do it on your own, you probably have to go to one police station, go to one hospital, but for the SAC referral centers, everything is involved and take it up from there. Especially if you know the person or you.
So the court issue here that I'm asking, because I know about the health that you've talked about, you know, within 72 hours, you check if the person actually was raped and all of that. Moving over to the court side now, where you want to charge whoever raped the person to court. Are you saying that these...
So every SAC has a legal team attached to them. So if you're sent or you're referred to the SAC center, you're rest assured that everything that you need for that service would be handled by that SAC center.
It's a fast process I'm actually asking about. Because people tell you, oh, the victim gets tired. We wait for a year plus. We have evidence. Nothing happened. Is that so with USAID Care Center?
Okay, so what I want to mention about the care center, like Chisom mentioned, for people who have issues of rape or sexual assault to report, we usually encourage that this is done within 72 hours. Reason being, because of the clinical services they will be needing to receive at the treatment centers or the sexual assault referral centers. This includes PEP. PEP is post-exposure prophylaxis. It will work within 72 hours. So we also encourage them, maybe they go there. There are other clinical services they can receive, includes emergency contraceptive. It includes STI, sexually transmitted infection screening. There's also a HIV testing that will be done. So that is why we encourage, like, if there is rape, that it's being reported, but you notice come up immediately, because there might be investigations that will need to take place. So I also need to mention at the sexual assault referral center, just like Chisom has said, that people can receive legal services or security service, whereby the sexual assault centers can refer to the gender unit of the Nigerian police force to take up such cases. And we at the care center, when this is done, we don't leave the client just like that. We do what we call follow-up call. So we do a follow-up call to ensure, has client received these services? What has been done? So we